I got a little repair to do on the Echo 2100 SB split shaft. This thing broke off. It's a plastic piece of junk. I got a new one. Latch assembly. I'm gonna try to get this plastic out of there and screw that new one in. Maybe I can just jam a screwdriver in there and unscrew it. I got lucky. I literally just touched this Phillips in there and it started to unscrew. I thought it was going to be a major ordeal to get that out. Now, why they have to make this out of plastic is retarded. I mean, why can't it be metal? Well, this thing's about 30 years old. It lasted that long, so I guess it's better than I thought. I'll screw this new one in. All right, we should be ready to roll here. I got some work for this thing today. Got to do some edging and some mulching and some trimming. So that's all good. All right, so I got a new belt on the mower deck here. Takes a 1/2 inch by 84 belt. I got a Tractor Supply. It's like, I don't know, it was 22 bucks or something. That ain't bad. But now we got to address this stupid broken seat. So let's investigate the swivel seat here. I think it's busted, as they say. So let me see. It looks like there's a fastener or two on the left side. Let me take them off and we'll see what we got. Well, I was gonna weld something on the seat to fix it, but there's not really anything to weld to. The thing is shot, man. Holy crap, that thing is shot. So anyways, that ain't gonna happen, huh? So at this point, maybe what I'll do is I'll see if I can get a bolt in that front one, and at least I'll have 2 bolts on instead of 4. But I definitely got to look for a new seat pan. This thing is Shotsky. Nice. Well, let me see if I can just rethread this one nut here. It feels pretty much worn out. Oh, now I'm getting some meat. Well, I got 2 out of the 4 in there. It feels pretty solid now, so we're gonna go with it. Every time I go on the side of a hill, I was afraid the seat was gonna fall off. I'll have to look for another seat for it, but for now I can mow. All right. Well, JD worked good. The seat stayed on it the whole time. The new belt stayed on it. You know, I think the reason the old belt broke was because I never checked how tight it was and it was too loose. You really got to check your belt tension every time you mow. And with this John Deere, it's easy. You don't even need a wrench. You just turn a knob and it will tighten or loosen it. Anyways, I'm a little bummed because I'm not mowing with a Gravelys. So I got to get some Gravelys mower decks hooked up. Just didn't have time this weekend. Still got the snow plows on the tractors that usually mow. So hopefully next weekend we can take those plows off and get some mower decks on them. But, you know, I still got the 430 over here that I might do the front lawn with, or the ProMaster 50. I'm not sure which one. So you'll have to stay tuned, see what I do. Let's check out the 430 a week later. Tire's still holding there. That's good. I noticed that the alignment is like way off. It might be just the play in the steering, but that thing is towed out. That one's pretty straight. So I probably should play with that tie rod in there. And let's see how it did on oil. That's still good on oil. But what I'm going to do is bring it over to the driveway for a minute. Actually, maybe I'll just work on it here. I wanted to check the governor adjustment, but I should do that now, because if I turn on the engine, exhaust is right next to it and it's going to be too hot. So what I was actually thinking of doing is taking the nut out of the bowl on the carb and taking the main jet out and spraying some carb cleaner in there, just douching it out a little bit, and see if we can get it to run better. But interestingly enough, look how much gunk is on the control rods here and everything. Something's leaking oil on this side of the engine. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the adapter to the transmission, or if it's coming out of where the governor is. It's pretty wet there. Something's leaking though, for sure. Anyways, this thing's dirty. It needs to be cleaned. Well, I took the nut, the bolt out of the bottom of the bowl. I'm holding the bowl on with my hand so I don't have to replace the gasket. I took the needle valve out of the top here. I'm going to take some carb cleaner and spray it down that hole and see if that will flush out any junk that might be in the bowl. Kind of stupid, but I'm going to try it. Well, my guess is that the problem has to do with fuel delivery on this tractor, but I'm going to check the governor just so I can rule that out. So what you do is you loosen the bolt that goes on the governor shaft, and the governor shaft sticks out, and it should only turn maybe a quarter of a turn left to right. And if it turns a full turn, then your governor's broken. So I loosened it up already, and it does not turn a full turn, so the governor's not broken, so that's good news. And I highly doubt the governor would ever be out of adjustment, but I'm going to check it nonetheless. So I loosened it. Now I need to turn it counterclockwise to the left when you're looking at the engine until it stops. And you have to have the throttle and full throttle, and then you tighten the governor arm. So this is the shaft here. I turned it with pliers this way to the left towards the front of the tractor, and we have this in full throttle as well. Idle, full throttle. See, idle is against the stop, and that's full throttle. And then you make sure this shaft's all the way to the left, then just tighten up this bolt here. So let me do that. But as talking about the fuel line, this still has the old metal fuel line on it. Now that goes into a rubber line here, into some nasty filter down here to the fuel pump, which is a, I guess, more modern fuel pump because it has rubber lines on it. That could be weak. That metal line could be a problem. The fuel filter could be clogged. The pickup on the bottom of the tank could be full of junk and not flowing. But let's just tighten this up and try to mow and see what happens. Now let's see how much gas is in this tank. Oh, barely any. I'm gonna blow in the gas tank because I just emptied the whole bowl, so maybe I'll prime the bowl back up and we'll try to start it. Let's give it choke. Remember, the choke doesn't work right on this thing. I'm gonna put it in a lower throttle, and I'm actually gonna go back here and push the choke lever down with my hand so it goes down all the way, and see what happens here. Gonna put a little gas in it and do some mowing. guys, now I'm in a better mood, using a Gravelys instead of that John Deere thing. Man, I love this 430. This thing's awesome, man. You know, just plows through that grass. You know, it got into some really thick grass in a couple spots and it bogged down a little bit. But, you know, I don't know if what I did to adjust it made it any better or not, but I think it actually did. So I'm gonna just leave it for now, and maybe I'll mow the front lawn with it again next week. I mowed the lawn in a golf course talk, what we call 2-8, which is, if you're looking out the front door, imagine the stripes at a 2-8 pattern like a clock. So I was going up the hill for most of the time, never had any issues going up the hill, so that's good news. But I still have a theory that the plumber's exhaust is reducing my exhaust and robbing my power. Let's take a look at that. Let's see. Ooh, this thing's hot. Yeah, so they got the 1-inch plumber's exhaust. Then it goes down there to like a reducer nipple, and there's a 3/4 inch hot dog muffler on there. Now, is that the problem? I don't know. But there's a lot of fresh oil on top of the points cover there. So where that could it be coming from? I don't know. It's coming from inside the points. I don't think so. It's got to be coming from the governor shaft, because the arm on the bottom of the governor where that spring goes, that's all wet. And then it's dripping on top of the points cover. So maybe there's a bad seal on the governor shaft right there. Anyways, yeah. What do you want for a machine that's 52 years old? You know? Well, stripes turned out good from the 430. Can't beat that. No baffle in that deck or nothing. Worked pretty good.